my life trajectory was taking a very different path. I was about to start a tech company. I had this I was a sophomore at university. In the summer between sophomore and junior year, I moved to Montreal. I was raising money for this tech startup idea that I was very passionate about. And then in that process of like meeting investors and trying to build a team, I met Thomas and Matt, and it was after about 5 days of hanging out together that I made the very irrational decision at that moment to completely put everything that I was doing on the side, not move to New York where my mentor had, given me her apartment to live on for the summer, which was like so huge to find an apartment to live in New York. And I was going to, shadow this startup founder that was raising a lot of money. And it felt like I had things sorted, and, I was on this like full scholarship to university, and I was getting stipend to go get that, to go to New York and do all these things. But then all of a sudden I meet these guys, and there's this shared energy to really want to do something different and to go full force at life. And, our method at that point was to do Project 30 things we've never done before in 30 days and make a video about the experience every single day to metabolize it and like share it with people. And, I was supposed to leave on a Sunday. I was going to take the train from Montreal to New York. And I remember the Saturday before, we all sat down and we were just talking and about, what I would be doing in New York and what Thomas and Matt would be doing there. And they were like, you should stay. This is, we should commit to this and do this together. And after a few minutes, I remember just standing up in the middle of the room, and I had this overwhelming sensation so deep in my body that I experienced a deep moment of joy as an old man with Matt and Thomas. And to me, that's what I keep holding back to, because it wasn't in that vision. It was, even though we had been so deep talking about like the potential of what we're doing and this idea of, chasing your fears and doing things outside of your comfort zone. At the time we're very influenced by The Buried Life. Our friends Ben Nemtin and Dave Lingwood, and which was a TV show on MTV that was about 4 friends who started from Canada who were crossing off their 100 bucket list items and in the process helping other people to do so. So that was like such an amazing influence for us, and it gave us this possible idea that this is possible and we can make a life out of doing that. But again, going back to the moment with Matt and Thomas, like it wasn't about that this is gonna be the biggest company in the world and we're gonna build the next version, and it's gonna be an empire. It was always about the keeping it real between each other. And it hasn't been, as you said, you've had an insight into that journey a little bit. It hasn't been the easiest, because growing up is such a it's a very, I don't want to describe it in a negative way, but it's a very full process that requires so much attention and effort and care. And when you're already with relationships are hard, because you have 2 people doing that happening to them at the same time, especially when we're in our 20s, early 20s. But imagine making it 3D and like putting another person who's like where the interactions are going like to two people and then to the it's a whole thing that and there was not really like a blueprint to go after. Like, I mean, if all the boy bands or the groups, like they almost ultimately there's this breakup story at the end that was, so there was never really we didn't see and obviously our friendship with The Buried Life helped a lot to know how it went between them as 4 friends also starting a business. But for us it was obviously when The Buried Life did it for a few years together, but we kept going, we kept building deeper and deeper, and the community kept getting bigger and bigger. So that was a very long way to answer your question, but it really comes down to constantly making sure that love is the source of the whole thing. Whatever content that is made, whatever idea we come up with, it has a seed that has a very strong why and a seed of like love in it, and friendship, because I think that's what resonated.